they said, good news, Mr. President, we're going to give you a smartphone instead of a BlackBerry. I thought, all right, this is cool. I've been seeing Malia and Sasha doing all this. Michelle's got 3 of them. She's texting and all this. So I'm excited. I get the thing, and they're all like, well, Mr. President, for security reasons, there's a great phone, state-of-the-art, but it doesn't take pictures. You can't text. The phone doesn't work. You know, you can't play your music on it. So basically, it's like, does your 3-year-old have one of those play phones?
That was former President Obama in his last year as president, talking about how, for security reasons, he was not allowed to have a normal smartphone. He had to basically have a toddler phone with no Spotify or anything cool. Now, when Donald Trump took office, one of the norms he smashed, one of them, was that he was not going to defer to the security protocols that were reserved for presidents. Trump would not give up his iPhone because he liked tweeting too much. And now it looks like Trump's refusal to give up Twitter for the sake of national security, well, it looks like that decision may be coming back to haunt him. Today, we learned that earlier this year, Special Counsel Jack Smith's office executed a search warrant that forced Twitter to turn over everything they had from Trump's account, @RealDonaldTrump. The question now is, what kind of evidence could Mr. Smith get from a search warrant like that, and how might he use it? Joining me now is Christy Greenberg, former deputy chief of the Southern District of New York's Criminal Division. Christy, thank you so much for being here with me. I know you have a theory about what the special counsel is looking for here. What is it?
Well, when I was a prosecutor, I did many Twitter search warrants, and among the things I would look for was to be able to show that the person who was using the account, who was sending the tweets from that account, was actually the person that I was looking to charge, right? So that it wasn't somebody who may have been authorized or unauthorized to use the account. It was the actual person I was looking for. So here, Donald Trump could potentially say, well, I didn't send that tweet. It was some other aide, a social media manager, someone else, right? And so they want to be able to say, and they have it throughout the indictment, the defendant tweeted the following. And the fact that they're so definitive about that in the indictment, they don't say this is a tweet from the account. They say the defendant tweeted it. It means they know. And so how do you know that this tweet came from Donald Trump? Beyond just the fact that it's his account. And part of the way you do that as a prosecutor is you look for location information. You look for device information. Twitter stores, collects, and uses your precise location information unless you disable that setting. And so they can say information like GPS, really precise location information of exactly where he was at the time and on the date that the tweets were sent. They can also have information about the device that was being used and the IP address, which is like a digital address. All of those things are going to let the prosecutors be confident in saying this tweet was tweeted by Donald Trump.
Well, and I'm assuming that the tweets we're talking about include, you know, the tweets that he sent on January 6th as the insurrection is unfolding. Most famously at 2:24 p.m., Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution. Of course, the December 19th tweet of 2020, big protest on January 6th, be there, will be wild. Those seem instrumental in trying to prove not the incitement to insurrection, which is not a charge that's listed in the indictment, but that there was a pressure campaign on Mike Pence, right, which was part of the larger fraud against the United States of America, and that the sort of foot soldiers of the insurrection gathered there by Trump's urging were used as effectively a battering ram against democracy, right? It's important, I guess you're saying, that prosecutors show that it was definitely, certainly Donald Trump who was behind that messaging.
100%. And it's interesting, that tweet that you mentioned about Mike Pence not having the courage to reject or delay the count, that came after, that tweet came after his advisors tell him there has been a riot at the Capitol. The Capitol has been breached. And he sends it anyway. So that goes towards intent. What is his intent? To delay that certification of the count. And so, and that's the key to this objective of this conspiracy. So that tweet is critical to proving his intent.
You said that you've served lots of Twitter search warrants, a newfangled investigative device that I was not aware of. There was a back and forth between Twitter and the federal government in terms of executing the search warrant. And that was during the period that Elon Musk was in charge of the company. Elon Musk is sort of famously sympathetic to Donald Trump and some of his allies. How unusual is it that there was that sort of resistance on the part of this private company to an order from the court?
Incredibly unusual. I mean, criminal defendants, when you are investigating them, you don't want to have disclosure of the search warrant to a criminal defendant under investigation. They can destroy evidence. They could flee prosecution. They could let other potential co-conspirators know. Any number of reasons why you want to keep that search warrant quiet. And what was interesting about Twitter's response is they said, OK, we actually agree that this is a valid search warrant and you're entitled to the information that is sought to be obtained in the search warrant. We just want to tell Donald Trump about it. And so we're not going to give you the information that we acknowledge you're entitled to under the warrant because we want to fight about whether or not we get to tell him, which is completely absurd. They're two very different things. They could have turned over the information and let the investigation continue and then litigated that non-disclosure issue, which was based on a First Amendment claim that was completely bogus.
I think underneath that is probably a political concern, given the fact that Elon Musk has made a sort of name for himself in recent months in terms of protecting and defending the right wing and zealots like Donald Trump. The reason that this had to be kept secret is because prosecutors were worried that Donald Trump would destroy evidence.
That was the incredible part about this, that the government was concerned he would destroy evidence and let others know, others connected to this know about it, and that the district court accepted that.
They were
and
like,
then
you're right.
Ruled, yes, you cannot disclose this to the former president of the United States. It's quite an incredible opinion.
Baked in the cake is tampering with evidence. Unbelievable. Christy Greenberg, thank you so much for your time and brilliant theories this evening.